Welcome to TT-Buddhism, where we share Buddhist wisdom and timeless teachings to help you cultivate inner peace, resilience, and happiness. In today's fast-paced world, emotional strength is not just a luxury, it is a necessity. Life constantly tests us with challenges, failures, criticism, and unexpected hardships. However, true strength does not come from avoiding difficulties, but from facing them with a calm and unshakable mind. Imagine being able to navigate any situation without being overwhelmed by stress, fear, or anger. What if no insult, failure, or setback could break your inner peace? This is not a fantasy. It is a skill that can be developed through consistent practice and mindfulness. In this video, we will explore 10 powerful habits inspired by Buddhist philosophy that will help you become emotionally unbreakable. These habits are not just techniques, but a way of life, guiding you to master your emotions instead of being controlled by them. By the end of this video, you will have practical tools to build emotional resilience, transform negative experiences into sources of growth, and gain complete control over your inner world. If you have ever struggled with emotional reactions, stress, or self-doubt, stay with us. This video will give you valuable insights to help you rise above any adversity. As you watch, we invite you to engage with us. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know which habit resonates with you the most and how you plan to apply it in your daily life. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to TT-Buddhism to continue your journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Now, let's begin. 1. Practice the sacred pause before reacting. One of the most powerful habits to develop emotional resilience is mastering the sacred pause, the ability to pause before reacting to any situation. In Buddhism, this pause is considered a moment of wisdom, a space between stimulus and response where clarity and awareness can arise. When emotions such as anger, frustration, or fear surface, most people react immediately, often making the situation worse. However, by practicing the sacred pause, you gain the ability to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. Imagine a warrior in battle. If they react impulsively to every attack, they expose themselves to danger. But if they remain still, assess the situation, and respond with precision, they stay in control. The same principle applies to your emotions. Instead of letting emotions dictate your actions, take a deep breath, step back, and observe. Ask yourself, is my reaction going to improve or worsen this situation? Or, am I responding from wisdom or from temporary emotions? This moment of stillness creates space for a conscious and thoughtful response, rather than an automatic reaction. Buddhism teaches that emotions are like waves, strong at first, but they eventually fade. If you react immediately, you are swept away by the wave. But if you pause, breathe, and allow the emotion to pass, you remain grounded. The more you train yourself to pause before reacting, the more mentally unshakable you become. Over time, you will notice that situations that once triggered you no longer have the same effect. By mastering the sacred pause, you cultivate a calm, steady mind, capable of handling any challenge with wisdom and inner peace. 2. View challenges as opportunities to strengthen your mind. Buddhism teaches that true strength is not found in avoiding conflict, but in transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. In life, you will face criticism, rejection, failure, and betrayal, But how you respond to these challenges determines your emotional resilience. Instead of taking negativity personally, view every difficulty as a test, a chance to build an unshakable mind. Imagine your mind as a fortress. If the walls are weak, even a small storm can destroy them. But if the walls are strong, no attack can break through. The same applies to emotional strength. When you allow external negativity to affect you, your inner walls weaken. However, when you see criticism, hardship, and setbacks as training exercises rather than personal attacks, you grow stronger each time. The Buddha himself faced endless criticism, yet he remained unmoved because he understood a powerful truth. Insults only have power if you accept them. If someone hands you a gift and you refuse to take it, it remains with them. Likewise, if someone throws negativity at you and you do not accept it, it does not belong to you. This mindset frees you from being controlled by others' opinions and actions. Whenever you face difficulties, pause and shift your perspective. Instead of reacting with frustration or self-doubt, ask yourself, how can this challenge make me stronger? The more you train yourself to reframe obstacles as opportunities, the more emotionally resilient you become. Over time, nothing can shake you because you no longer see hardships as threats, but as stepping stones to greater wisdom and strength. This is the mindset of a truly unbreakable person. 3. Embrace discomfort instead of escaping it. True emotional resilience is built not by avoiding discomfort, but by embracing it. In Buddhism, suffering is seen as an inevitable part of life, but what causes true suffering is not discomfort itself, it is our resistance to it. Most people try to escape pain, uncertainty, and frustration through distractions, such as entertainment, food, social media, or other temporary pleasures. However, the more you run from discomfort, the weaker your mind becomes. Think of a warrior or a Navy SEAL. They do not train in comfort, but in extreme conditions. They intentionally put themselves in difficult situations to develop strength, endurance, and discipline. Buddhist monks follow the same principle by living in simplicity, practicing long hours of meditation, and detaching from material comforts. This is not about suffering for the sake of suffering, but about building a mind that remains calm and unshaken under any condition. When you feel restless, frustrated, or afraid, do not immediately seek to escape those feelings. Instead, sit with them, observe them, and allow them to pass. If you train yourself to tolerate discomfort rather than avoid it, you develop unshakable inner strength. Start small. Practice patience when waiting in line. Resist the urge to check your phone every few minutes, and remain present even when boredom arises. Over time, discomfort loses its power over you. You no longer seek constant distractions or external validation to feel at ease. Instead, you become someone who can face any situation with confidence, knowing that no hardship can break you because you have already trained your mind to endure it. This is the true path to emotional mastery. 4. Shift your perspective. Turn problems into opportunities. Buddhism teaches that suffering does not come from external events, but from how we interpret them. The same situation can be seen as a disaster by one person and an opportunity by another. The difference is not in the event itself, but in the perspective we choose to adopt. This is the power of the perspective flip, the ability to reframe challenges in a way that strengthens rather than weakens you. Imagine two people facing the same setback. Both lose their jobs. One sees it as a catastrophe, falling into despair and self-pity. The other sees it as a chance to explore new opportunities, develop new skills, or even start a business. The situation is identical, but the mindset is what determines the outcome. This is why Buddhist teachings emphasize that the mind creates reality. If you believe something is a curse, it will feel like one. But if you see it as a lesson, you gain power over it. Whenever you encounter difficulty, pause and ask yourself, how can this situation serve me? What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Shift your thinking to, this is happening for me. Every challenge contains a hidden lesson, whether it be patience, wisdom, or resilience. The Buddha himself faced hardships, rejection, and betrayal, yet he never resisted them. He used them as fuel for his enlightenment. When you train yourself to see problems as stepping stones rather than obstacles, nothing in life can truly defeat you. The moment you master this mindset, you turn every difficulty into power and build an unshakable mind. 5. Master emotional transmutation. Turn negative energy into strength. Buddhism teaches that emotions are not inherently good or bad. They are simply energy that arises and passes. The key to emotional resilience is not suppressing emotions, but transforming them into something useful. This is known as emotional transmutation, the ability to take negative energy such as anger, fear, or frustration and redirect it into growth, discipline, or creativity. Think of fire. It can burn and destroy, or it can provide warmth and light. Your emotions work the same way. Instead of letting anger make you reckless, use it as fuel to push yourself forward. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze you, turn it into heightened awareness and preparation. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we attach to emotions, identifying with them as if they define us. However, once you recognize that emotions are temporary, you can learn to use them rather than be used by them. Whenever a strong emotion arises, pause and detach from it. Instead of saying, I am angry, recognize that anger is present, but I am not anger. This small shift gives you control over the emotion rather than being controlled by it. Once you separate yourself from the feeling, you can decide how to use its energy productively. A monk who feels frustration during meditation does not give up. He deepens his practice. A warrior who feels fear before battle does not retreat. He sharpens his focus. You can apply the same principle in your life. The more you practice emotional transmutation, the more mentally unshakable you become. No emotion will ever control you again. Instead, you will control your emotions and channel them into your strength. 6. Adopt the Stoic observer mindset. Detach from emotional reactions. Buddhism teaches that suffering does not come from external events but from how we react to them. The Stoic observer mindset is about stepping back and watching your emotions without becoming consumed by them. Instead of being a victim of your feelings, you become an observer, detached and in control. Imagine sitting by a river, watching leaves float by. Each leaf represents a thought or emotion: anger, fear, sadness. Instead of grabbing onto them, you simply watch them drift away. This is the Buddhist way of acknowledging emotions without letting them define you. When something upsetting happens, instead of reacting immediately, take a breath and observe your inner response. The Buddha remained calm even when insulted because he understood a fundamental truth. No one can disturb your peace unless you allow them to. A person's words, actions, or opinions only have power over you if you attach importance to them. Most suffering comes from clinging to emotions and identifying with them as if they are permanent, when in reality they are just passing states of mind. By detaching from emotional reactions, you gain control over how you experience life whenever you feel overwhelmed. Practice this mindset. I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I am simply the observer. With time, you will develop an unshakable state of mind, one that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. Instead of chasing happiness or resisting discomfort, you remain calm and composed, watching everything pass like clouds in the sky. This is the key to true emotional mastery. 7. Build a mental fortress through emotional fasting. One of the greatest sources of suffering in life comes from attachment to comfort, pleasure, and emotional indulgence. Buddhism teaches that true strength is not found in constantly seeking external validation or temporary pleasures, but in developing an independent and resilient mind. This is where emotional fasting comes in. The practice of voluntarily reducing unnecessary emotional dependencies to strengthen your mental resilience. Just as physical fasting trains the body by teaching it to function without constant consumption, emotional fasting strengthens the mind by training it to remain stable without needing constant stimulation, comfort, or approval. Many people today rely on social media, entertainment, food, or external validation to escape discomfort. Over time, this weakens their ability to handle adversity because they have never trained their minds to function without these emotional crutches. Buddhist monks practice a simple, disciplined lifestyle where they detach from unnecessary luxuries and train their minds to be content without needing external pleasures. This practice builds inner peace, emotional control, and resilience. You can start applying emotional fasting in your own life by identifying the things you emotionally depend on the most. Ask yourself, do I constantly check my phone for validation? Do I seek comfort in distractions to avoid discomfort? Do I indulge in instant gratification instead of facing my emotions? Begin by gradually reducing these dependencies. Spend time in silence without distractions. Resist the urge to immediately comfort yourself when feeling uneasy, and learn to sit with your emotions instead of escaping them. Over time, emotional fasting transforms your mind into a fortress, stable, strong, and unshaken by external circumstances. When you no longer rely on external sources to feel complete, nothing can control you, and true inner strength becomes yours. 8. Develop no-reaction mastery. Control what others cannot. One of the highest forms of self-mastery in Buddhism is the ability to remain unmoved by external forces. The world constantly tests us. People will try to provoke us. Situations will challenge our patience, and emotions will surge within us. However, true strength lies in mastering the art of no reaction, staying calm, composed, and in control no matter what happens. The moment you stop reacting to negativity, you take away its power. Most people are ruled by their emotions. When someone insults them, they react with anger. When faced with frustration, they complain. When things don't go their way, they lash out. But every time you react impulsively, you give control to the external world. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we attach to these reactions, allowing them to dictate our inner peace. To break free, you must train yourself to observe without engaging, to remain still instead of reacting. Imagine someone trying to start a fire with wet wood. It doesn't catch. Similarly, When people try to provoke you, but you do not react, their negativity loses its fuel. This is why Buddhist monks practice silence and mindfulness. They observe their emotions without becoming slaves to them. They understand that reacting impulsively only leads to more suffering. Practicing no-reaction mastery does not mean suppressing emotions or avoiding confrontation. It means choosing your response with wisdom. When someone insults you, pause and ask, does this truly affect me? Or is my ego reacting? Is this worth my peace of mind? The more you train yourself to remain calm in difficult moments, the more power you gain over your own mind. Once you master this mindset, you become untouchable. No external force can shake you, and you remain steady in all situations. 9. Use dark visualization to become unstoppable. One of the most profound Buddhist teachings is the acceptance of suffering, loss, and impermanence. Most people avoid thinking about worst-case scenarios because they fear them. But what if, instead of avoiding your fears, you confronted them head-on? What if you trained your mind to face darkness so that when adversity comes, you are already stronger than it? This is the power of dark visualization, a technique that prepares you mentally for hardships, making you emotionally unbreakable. Many people live in denial, assuming that good times will last forever. They refuse to think about loss, failure, or struggle, and when hardship inevitably strikes, they are unprepared, shocked, and overwhelmed. In contrast, Buddhist monks and Stoic philosophers practice contemplating suffering regularly, not to create fear, but to strip fear of its power. They meditate on impermanence, imagining scenarios like losing everything, facing rejection, or even experiencing death. By visualizing these events, they train their minds to accept them, so that if they ever happen in reality, they remain strong and composed. The Buddha taught that suffering is a natural part of life, and the more we resist it, the more it controls us. By practicing dark visualization, you shift your perspective. Instead of fearing hardship, you embrace it as an inevitable part of existence. Instead of asking, what if something bad happens, you prepare yourself so that if it does, you are mentally ready. Instead of clinging to illusions of security, you develop a mindset that nothing can truly shake you. By training your mind through dark visualization, you build a mental blueprint for how you will respond to life's storms before they even arrive. While others panic in crisis, you remain calm, collected, and in control. This is what makes you truly unstoppable. Conclusion: the path to an emotionally unbreakable mind. Becoming emotionally unbreakable is not about suppressing emotions or avoiding difficulties. It is about mastering your mind so that no external force can shake you. True strength lies not in aggression, but in deep, unwavering inner peace. Buddhism teaches us that suffering does not come from life's challenges, but from how we react to them. When you develop the habits of pausing before reacting, shifting your perspective, embracing discomfort, and mastering emotional transmutation, you build a mind that remains calm, even in the midst of chaos. Each of the 10 habits we have explored today serves as a tool to strengthen your emotional resilience. By training yourself to see problems as opportunities, practice non-reaction, and detach from external validation, you become someone who is no longer controlled by emotions, opinions, or circumstances. Instead, you take full ownership of your inner world, turning every challenge into fuel for growth. This is the path of true mental freedom. At TT-Buddhism, our mission is to share Buddhist wisdom, to help you cultivate peace, strength, and mindfulness in your daily life. We hope this video has inspired you to start practicing these habits and to build a mind that is calm, resilient, and unshakable. If this message resonates with you, we would love to hear your thoughts. Which habit do you find the most powerful? Which one will you start practicing today? Let us know in the comments. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to TT-Buddhism for more insightful content. Thank you for being here. May you find inner peace, wisdom, and unshakable strength on your journey. See you in the next video.